Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube Astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about astrology and being alone on the holidays. You could say it's somewhat, astrological video because I'm going to be talking about my own chart, how it may correlate with me being alone on the holidays. Virtually everyone for some time, and it never gets really that much easier. I've gotten a little accustomed to it. But the thing is, I'm also going to talk about some other, as far as other people goes, and where indicators, astrological indicators in their chart, may be connected with this for them. And the thing is, people, first off, I just want to say early on for in advance for people that do celebrate it, that you have a, Merry Christmas and your New Year. You attain all your goals and aspirations, your objectives. You're able to formulate, realistic plans, goals that are attainable for 2024. We have Pluto entering Aquarius in 2024, and I'm going to have that conjunct my midheaven. I believe transit Pluto is already conjunct my midheaven, and I got transit Uranus going to be hitting my ascendant later this 2024. So this should be, a very interesting year. It'll be something compelling. Maybe there'll be some more power in my astrology career. I hope I don't indicate the obliteration of an astrology career with that Pluto transit, but as that song by Asia, time will tell, right? That's the determining factor. And the thing about it is too, I think what first thing I'd like to say is as far as my own chart goes, naturally it's very introverted, as many of you may know. I got a preponderance of planets on the bottom half of it. I got Saturn in the 12th house, which can indicate secluded habits, being reclusive. Saturn squares Venus, which doesn't help matters in terms of my enjoyment and romantic situations as well. And it's interesting because Saturn also opposes my 7th house cusp, interestingly enough, as well. The 7th house, as many of you may know, is house connected with your relationships. So there's other things too, but the thing is, there's certain, I think, misconception about my situation, and there's some people out there that think, everything in my life is together, but it, couldn't be far from the truth. It's a lot of that's attributed to people really not knowing me well. I understand I have comments disabled on my YouTube astrology videos. I know that doesn't help much. I mean, help matters, but still. When I look at the numbers, I saw, recently that I have over 28,000 subscribers, on my YouTube astrology channel, which I'm okay with. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you put all that together and you say, well, and the fact that I'm still waiting on some invite, and I can't say that it's up to people from social media to do this, but when you look at that, and then people even in the outer world have not thought I was, really worth the trouble in this case. It does, hits that Venus and Leo ego to some degree, and you can't help but be a little dismayed and disheartened by it. The only thing I can keep in mind in this time is that, I can't let my spirit be obliterated just because, people may have shied away from me for whatever reason, for whatever reasons they may have. It's varied. I know a lot of people are not, in my area, not even in my country, but I know there's a number of people that are in the United States and are even in the same state as I am. But what it is, though, I guess what I want to get at with this, I'm, living proof that, you could have, certain success on social media, but that doesn't mean, in terms of your friendships, your relationships, it's going to correlate with, manifesting that kind of success. And now we're going on right now. I've been doing, the YouTube astrology videos now for over 11 years. Now going on, it'll be close to 11 and a half years in the near future. But anyway, the thing about it is, it hasn't really manifested in, having that happiness, when you need it. Where, Christmas time comes, I still have no, there's not going to be any invites for me this Christmas, unless, barring, something miraculous taking place. But it's the thing about it is, with me, I guess on the positive end, is that I've been able to endure it a lot better than most people, partly because I've gotten acclimated to it. I guess, you get used to, certain things being a certain way, complacency can set in, and you just become, maybe I've accepted it as the norm for me to not have any invites, to not have anyone to celebrate, the Christmas with. I can remember there was a time back in 2016, and it was a Valentine's Day, right? And I had started to become close to some woman on the internet, and she said, well, she was going to spend, the Valentine's Day, with this, with this person, for whatever reason, because I guess she had been, connected with him, somehow for some time. And I just had, if I remember right, I just asked her, can we at least, talk for a little bit on that day? And it was basically, the answer was no, and, basically resounding no. And, the thing about that is, we have to, some of us in life, we deal with, the constant pain that has to go with, being rejected in some manner. And when you're in a situation like mine and you get no invites, it's not like anybody came out and said, hey Eddie, or Edwin, whatever you want to call, whatever, whichever name you want to call me, Ed or Eddie. It's basically a rejection in its own way by the unspoken words, by not reaching, by not saying, okay, Eddie, maybe I'll give you a chance. Maybe this is the holiday you could actually have someone to spend time with. And what's terrible, I think what's happened too, is that in our society we become more about segregation and separation. We find excuses to shy away, to say, okay, I'm not going to be involved with this person. I'm not giving this person an opportunity. Here I am, I try to live, good, for the most part, scrupulous existence. I don't do any drugs or recreational drugs. I don't even drink or smoke cigarettes. I try to be, the law-abiding citizen. And, sometimes that just, that's not enough. There was a song that went something like, sometimes love just ain't enough. Well, sometimes that's what I just described. Not enough either being a nice person and being upright, as a person, scrupulous. Sometimes that just doesn't really manifest into, having, the people that in your life that you may need. And the thing is, I think as too, we become self-centered more as time has gone on. We become more dominated by self-interest, and we become more egocentric. We look at it like, well, okay, I'm going to have my happiness. I have this person and these people, but but at the same time, we don't often think about the other people that may have felt left out, that basically got the short shaft for whatever reason. And the thing is, we're all, more people have become, about self-preservation. I saw, something online one time, right, on some YouTube video, and there was somebody that put a comment on a video. I guess what it was is there was a video, patriotic song. It may have been from Lee Greenwood, I can't remember 100%, but on one of the comments, somebody, I guess apparently a non-American, had stated, I don't remember the exact words, but basically said that, that all Americans were like egocentric or about self-aggrandizement, and they weren't really much about, expressing, selflessness or altruism. And the thing about it is, I know that's not a true statement because, naturally 100% of Americans are not about that. But the thing is, there is a good percentage of Americans that are about that. And I couldn't really defend it. I was going to write something in the defense. I was like, you know what, this guy or girl, whoever it was, maybe had a point of what was being said, because I've experienced this on the other end. I'm going to be alone, and people, the thing about it is it's gotten to a point now where, a lot of times I'll notice, like when people write me or something, it'll be regarding some, free, astrological insight into their chart. It's not about, hey, Edwin, are you okay? I saw your videos up about, your homeless plight, or things going well for you. And those messages don't even come anymore. I don't remember the last time somebody wrote me, asked me regarding the, the situation. And it goes back to what I'm saying before about us being all about, me, our little family we have, and then the friends, and then that's it, and everybody else, hell with them, and it's really become that way, sadly. And what I would say is, people, and this is not a plea to get anybody to invite me at the last second over for Christmas or anything, because we're only, at the time of this video, we're 2 days away from it. It'd be hard pressed for me to go anywhere, because the odds are whoever writes me is not even going to be in my state, and then I'm going to have to try to make arrangements to go wherever, and it's just, it's not going to work. And then what it comes down to is being a nice person doesn't always, give some kind of guarantee or assurance that people are going to be in your life and the right ones. And there may come a point in time where I'm going to have to go out and take action and earn that right. If people aren't coming to me, I have to remember that I can still, have some ability to take some action and find find something. I think there's something called Meetup or something. I can't remember what it's called exactly, where it gives people an opportunity to go, or some other people may congregate that share, some like-minded interests or what have you. But what I want to state is that, those of you that do see this video, if you know somebody, it's going to be alone on the holidays, just and you even if you just know them, somewhat superficially on the internet or social media, if you have the ability to reach out to them and say, hey, you know what, I want to see if you're okay. And, sometimes it's all it takes. And even if you can't meet up with him or her, let them know you're out there and you are thinking about him at least, And, I understand, we all have our own problems. We got our own lives to live. Even my grandparents had, one of them had said to me, hey, we have our own lives to live. And I've had to, to come and respect and understand that. But, it doesn't mean you can't maybe brighten up someone else's life in the process, And I hope nobody really writes me, saying, negative things about this, because it's basically like, throwing Jello in a toilet that's already, not working properly. And, we don't want to add insult to abject misery. And I just wanted to close with, people again, reiterate what I stated before, that I wish, everybody that sees this video, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. If you do celebrate it, have a joyous, prosperous New Year. May 2024 be your best year ever. Anyway, people, until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.